Welcome to Combat Clash, where the top 50 players in the world test their mettle against each other on the ranked arena and compete for that top spot on the ladder. Today's match takes us to Relic River, a, a very hilly map with the river running straight through the middle, where all the relics in the map are located. So we're going to see a lot of contention on this central line across the map. On the blue side, we have Igor1999 playing the Knights Templar. And on the green side, we have Il Vostro Bombeer playing the English. And getting right into it, we already have a Dark Age Barracks coming out from the English. So, along with a Vanguard Man at Arms. So, he's definitely going to be looking to do some early harass. With the Men at Arms, as this first one's just coming out now, you can see they have a 2 melee, 3 ranged armor right off the bat. So they're really going to be able to just tank the TC shots, even with garrison units. Will be interesting to see exactly how English wants to play this one out. Knights Templar, not known for having the best economy on land. While this is technically a hybrid map, we can see here there are really no fish to speak of. But, I misspoke. There is one spot on the map where there are fish, and our Knights Templar friend already getting that harbor down, going to be looking to take advantage of KT's very strong presence on water. The harbor, a unique dock exclusive to Knights Templar that does allow them to provide arrow, effectively a springled emplacement, if I remember right. And he's going to be, we'll see right now, his food economy is pretty low, but once he gets a few of these docks, these fishing boats out, his food economy is going to skyrocket quite quickly. And another one of the main reasons really why Knights Templar are considered so good on these hybrid and water maps is the fact that they do not need lumber mills. They actually cannot build them. All of their villagers, when mining wood, they just mine it forever. They don't have to carry it. They just continuously mine it. Every single time they mine any, it gets provided. And on top of that, 20% of all wood mined, all wood gathered, does actually get generated as additional food. But English, expecting this dock, does sniff out that harbor, has that Vanguard Men at Arms already looking to torch this building down. And, unless he's able to get, at this point, the only thing he'd really be able to do is get out and, get to feudal and get out a galley. But at the moment, I don't really see that happening. That being said, it is going to take quite a while for this one Man at Arms to burn down through 2,250 hit points. So it may very well be doable. One downside to the KT, as you may know, is the fact that they do not build landmarks. Their town center actually, quote unquote, builds their feudal age. And they have a choice of 3 options going into feudal, right? So they can either choose Knights Hospitaller, Kingdom of France, or the Principality of Antioch. Each one provides some unique bonuses as well as a unique unit. So we'll see what he ends up deciding to go. But yes, okay, second Men at Arms getting on this harbor, and he's just going to be looking to burn this down before feudal age comes, and some actual either a hulk or a galley comes out. English, otherwise, not interested in playing the water game here. He's just looking to halt KT's push onto water, where they can really take advantage of the fish economy, as fish are the most powerful food source in the game. Shoreline fish coming just behind the deep water fish, which are not on this map. So, shoreline fish are going to be the best source of food that he's going to be able to get here in the game. That being said, interesting. So, Outpost gets dropped and almost completed on the mining camp. He wants to reserve this wood just in case it's not required. And realistically, I wouldn't expect to see any push on this gold mine anytime soon. Not at least until we have this dock down. 3 fishing boats up, not looking to build anymore, but Oh no. Yeah, okay. We'll see what Nest Number decides to do here. He is just trying to he's got a couple of these boats garrisoned, but he is trying to collect a little bit of that food. And okay, there comes, yeah, Men at Arms just fully halting this food collection. He is trying here and there, just letting them heal up a bit inside the harbor, trying to collect any sort of food he can before this thing goes down. Does not look like he's particularly interested in defending it, but we'll see what he does now. So, okay, here it is. Galley coming out right as soon as he hits feudal age. So he is going to try to protect this, but with only 780 life left, he might not be able to. It might. There is a villager just hiding over here chopping wood, but there are a lot of men at arms here. I'm not sure he's going to be able to handle deal with this. And behind this men at arms harass is the Abbey of Kings. Our king is coming out here shortly. 30 seconds left. Fantastic cavalry unit for the English. Provides a healing aura to all nearby units. And he is effectively he's a feudal age knight. Not much more to say about that. So harbor does go down. And this villager, he is likely going to get... Okay. I think our English friend missed the villager sneaking across the side of the map, even with that scout. And we're very likely, yep, he's going to drop a harbor, drop this back down, I would expect pretty soon. And now that he has a galley here, he should not really have any issue defending this. Yeah, so, very sneaky little play with this villager here from Knights Templar. He manages to completely avoid this. And now, until the king gets here, we're very likely just going to see these men-at-arms just hiding out, waiting to heal up. And speaking of our king, he is crossing the river now. This Galio is going to put a little bit of damage onto him, but not too much. And all right. So we did decide to take the Kingdom of France, it looks like, with the Chevalier Confrère. These are heavy. These are feudal knights. They are. They're a little bit weaker than standard knights, but they do provide a bonus max health to all other chevaliers next to them. So the more you have, the better they are. But he does manage to fully chase off this knight away from those wounded men-at-arms. So, and yeah, it looks like these men-at-arms are a bit cut off, and Chevalier are going to come down and try to finish these guys off. Oh, a wolf. Oh, is the wolf going to get a kill? And he does. Wolf goes down, but so does a men-at-arms. Unfortunate loss here. Now these men-at-arms are stuck between some knights and a galley. This is not looking good. Another one goes down. And looking like a third men-at-arms is going to go down as well. All 4 or 5 of these guys all going down to the Chevalier here. Knight is going to be poking around. Going to see what he can take. Maybe see what he can take from this gold mine. But the outpost is already up. And all of these villagers should be able to protect themselves just fine as long as he catches this. And he does. All right, so no damage being done here. Pilgrims are up and on their way to the topmost relic site. Meanwhile, we have nothing too crazy happening from the English inside his base. A pretty standard focus on farms by the English. All right, they do have access to very early cheaper farms, and they generate more food than regular farms. So it's very beneficial for English to stay on farms, to get on farms very quickly. And alongside this setup for farms, he is going out to the deer, just going through these huntable deer as well. And okay, so spearmen are out to try to combat and deal with these chevaliers. So I would not be surprised if we see, yep, and we already do. We have, let's see, it's just 1 archery range so far. Yep, 1 archery range. He is supply capped. Bit of a swing and a miss here. Unfortunately, no villagers, but his military is getting supply blocked at the moment. Does finally get completed and dealt with. But yeah, so all right, we are looking at a pretty strong military by the Knights Templar here at the moment. Definitely being supported by a admittedly relatively small fishing economy here. Only a total of 5 fishing ships, and we likely won't see too many more, given just how few shoreline fish opportunities there are. We have our king looking to do a little bit of economic damage here on these fishing ships, but this one galley should be able to hold him off, fend him off fairly well. And, I really wonder if that king wouldn't be better served protecting his base, given just the sheer size of Knights Templar's army here. We've got 7 Chevaliers and 12 archers up against just 7 spearmen. But that being said, we do have King's Palace coming out. This once completed, which will be very soon here, 18 villagers. He is trying to get this up and running as quickly as he can. Once this landmark goes up, there is virtually no hope of getting any damage onto this. Yeah. Oh. I thought this was the White Castle, y'all. He actually went with the town center. I'm honestly surprised. I wonder what the reason was for him to actually back off was. I think he definitely could have put some more pressure on this, at least for some idle villagers, but maybe he just didn't feel it was worth the risk. So now that English is actually set up in 2 town center, this is going to be even harder of a game the further this goes on for the Knights Templar. Knights Templar already have an issue with keeping up with villagers against virtually every civ in the game, specifically because of the fact that they, do have to give up villager production on their capital town center whenever they are aging up. That's naturally going to put them behind a couple of vills. But it looks like we are going to be taking this outpost down. We got 5 villagers in it, which they do manage to mostly escape. 1 goes down. Oh, and all right, he's going to have to back off of this while these garrison villagers and spearmen are coming out. A few of them should be able to go down. He does have a nice, comfortable mass of archers, but the king does manage to pick off a couple as they are coming across the map. More chevaliers out. This king just trying to do what he can to defend his people, but only so much that can be done. These fishing economy is still up and running. Just a relatively small 5 fishing ships, as we've said, not going to be changing anytime soon. Supporting that, we have deer, we have sheep. No farms yet for KT, but we are getting some barracks up and running. So likely expecting to either see some spearmen or maybe some men-at-arms of his own. We'll see. We are KT looking to age up to catch up in this. The Castle Age came out quite early for English. He really just stayed focused on protecting what he could and getting that Castle Age in. Now that he's at 2 town centers, surprisingly, Knights Templar are doing a good job of offsetting that second town center by just picking off villagers where they can. And he is just looking to burn down this barracks. One of only 2 barracks, but we do have a stable in the back. First knight comes, third knight actually comes out. Not sure where the other ones are. Okay, they're actually with the king. So knights are coming out. We definitely will probably either want to see, at this point, maybe some spearmen, which, yeah, he's getting the veteran, the hardened upgrade, and he is going for the Angevin Empire. So, I don't remember which unique unit the Angevin gives them. We shall see. But another 2 barracks. So Knights Templar is looking to commit to a pretty infantry-heavy army now that he's kind of moved past these Chevalier, not opting to really replenish the ranks too much anymore. English doing a very good job of just keeping this king with his scout and a couple of horsemen alongside him. Just really trying to keep some presence on the map, keep some sort of pressure, at the very least, keep abreast of what's happening on the opposite side of the river here. And he actually does force K2 to come back to his side of the map, pulling pressure fully off of the English on their base. And while he did manage to take out that barracks, I don't know if that's necessarily going to be enough. 2 stables are out. We do have our iron undermesh coming in, ranged armor, first set of ranged armor. KT definitely focusing on these upgrades. He's already got +1/+1 on armor, and he's looking for ++1 on attack, both melee and range. So even more barracks coming out from the KT. This is going to be he's got the heavy spearmen out. So these are excellent counters to any Night Civ, right? They're extremely, they're heavy armored spearmen. I mean, enough said, right? 4 armor, both melee and ranged, 140 health. These guys are very powerful and very effective. It just at diving TCs, they can really shrug off, those arrow shots in the same way that men at arms can. So we'll see. We'll see how English decides to react to this. We're going to need to be seeing some crossbowmen. At the moment, we have none, and I actually don't think we have a single archery range. No, okay. 2 archery ranges are out, with a third one on the way. But he is actually opting for the archery upgrades and focusing on those archers. Ooh, the king and his knights do get surrounded by those chevalier, and they all go down. Big loss for the English. It's going to cost him quite a bit and a bit of time to actually replace that king. Meanwhile, we have some heavy spearmen just kind of poking around all over the place in English's base, forcing those farms to go idle for the most part. 11, 20 villagers almost fully forced idle. And they're just, he is just fully in the base. That king getting caught out was a really big blow. We do have a sneaky little monk over here trying to grab these relics from across the map on the top side. I do not believe we've seen an actual monastery drop down for the Knights Templar yet. Does not look like that. But, at the moment, he doesn't feel like he needs it. He's staying on the offensive. The Chevalier really getting their money's worth, just staying around on top of the map. He does have them upgraded to veterans as well. And I don't know if charging into those spearmen was the right move, but maybe he feels numbers wise, he can afford to do it. And meanwhile, we just have, we're down to forcing a ton of villagers on the woodline just because there's nowhere else he can really go at the moment. 25 villagers sitting in their town center doing nothing. And a Woololo coming out, not going to get anything here. Just wanted to protect his couple of infantry he still had. And these just like a swarm across the map, just hardened spearman after spearman after spearman. I think we've got to be up to close to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 6 barracks. No, 8 barracks, all looking to produce these heavy spearmen. He is just looking to just harass and just force this English economy to idling. They're down to 180, 200 food per minute. Meanwhile, we're sitting at 1,100 for the Knights Templar. This is a hard spot to be in. Unfortunately, the king still has not been replaced and does not look like he's going to be being replaced anytime soon. Only not even 100 gold per minute either. This is just a really, really rough spot for English to be in at the moment. These heavy spearmen almost acting as sort of the perfect counter to what the English was building with his comp, with just knights and spearmen. And frankly, heavy spearmen very comfortably beat both, right? They absolutely counter knights. And the fact that these guys have so much armor just means that they can really fully ignore and just out strong arm any regular spearman. And we do have Templar brothers coming in, and that is going to be the GG. Excellent play. I always love to see Knights Templar and to really see the strategies that players are coming up with at this high level on less. While this was a hybrid map, I would say it's primarily a land map, right? There was only one spot to gather shoreline fish, and even then it wasn't a lot. But GG, well played to both players. And thank you for tuning in for today's episode of Combat Clash. If you're itching for another round, take a look at some of our recent clashes just over on the left side of your screen. And of course, if you'd like to see more of this and similar content, do be so kind as to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. So long, and I will see you tomorrow for another round of Combat Clash.